Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Apple Markets. My name is Chris. Thank you so much for your patience. As most of you know, we've had some technical issues so far, and that has been solved finally. It took a bit long to find out what the solution was, but the tech problems seem to be gone now, and the software is working. Not sure if it was me or the software. Anyhow, it doesn't matter. The things are working now. A bit late, but we can still take a look at the market for a short while. If there are any questions, please let me know, of course, in the chat box. I'll just quickly go through this presentation that explains that the webinar here is intended for a global audience and may not be suitable for everyone. Take a look at this link, applemarketsglobal.com. Select your country of residence and contact the appropriate entity to find out more information. To find out information about the conditions and details and whether this webinar is suitable for you. Also, trading for exchange and global financial markets is considered high risk and may not be suitable for everyone. Therefore, please seek the advice of an independent financial advisor for more information on that. This webinar is not advice and is for informational and educational purposes only. If you're continuing watching this webinar, you agree with this disclaimer, and you are aware of the risk involved when trading. Just in case you're not aware, Idle Markets won the UK Forex MT4 UK award, best broker. So, and why? Well, probably because one of the reasons is definitely the Supreme Edition. 56 additional features available in an online screen or a screen basically connected or integrated with MT4, which offer a lot of things like an alarm manager, like a lot size, position size calculator, sentiment matrices, and correlation matrices. So definitely worth your time. All right, take a look at that. Now, let's take a look at the calendar. I don't really have everything prepared because I rebooted my computer, obviously, to increase the chance of succeeding with finding the appropriate answer to the technical problems. So in response to that, I also rebooted my computer. So we'll take a look at the calendar in just a second. This is the charts, as you can see right now, the euro dollar. Oh, sorry about that. Well, anyhow, I was about to say that the euro dollar is making an upside, as you can see here. Yesterday, of course, unfortunately, apologies for that. The webinar got canceled. Same technical problems, but I think that should be solved in the meantime. So you can find wave analysis. Yesterday would have been a wave and fib webinar, but you can always find wave analysis by going to analytics and then clicking on this button right here in the right upper corner. All right, just wanted to let you know regarding yesterday's webinar as well. Regarding the calendar, you can see that we got, of course, an important ADP number on the US and interest rate on the CAD. Tomorrow, interest rate on the euro. And on Friday, of course, the big day, in fact, because then we're going to see the NFP numbers, and those are going to be interesting to see what's going on with the long-term potential for rate hike, or maybe not long-term, but even this month. So that's going to be an interesting figure. All right, back to the charts. Euro dollar broke the orange trend line that I have on the chart and bounced off the 138.2 fib that I have on my wave analysis. And basically prices made a bit of a rally. Now, one of the differences I would say, let me move this Admiral Markets lot size calculator a bit lower. One of the differences with this upside is that it has a decent kind of angle to it. If you would put, you can see it at the pace that it's moving, whereas this part was a bit corrective, right? Um, Here, that's correction. When you see something like this right here, where I have the arrow, that's showing momentum, and indeed you get a follow through, right here. So you get two kind of upsides, 1, 2, right? Whereas here it was very corrective, right? Even here you get 1, you get a 2, but it's a very small 2 though, to be fair. But point is that this is looking more like an impulse, so I wouldn't be surprised if we get one more impulse to the upside here. There are many reasons to expect a bit of a bounce on the euro dollar, in my opinion. Obviously, ADP could change that, depending on the news event, but depending on that figure that the US will release. This could fly down or fly up. Of course, these news events are kind of like own bubbles of moments where they impact price for a certain time, like 30 minutes. They have their own logic, they have their own potential, and after that news event has died down and has enough time has gone past after the news event, then technicals again start to take over. This is at least my belief in how the markets work. So from that point of view, of course, that ADP is something always of a question mark. But from a technical point of view, at this moment, I'm expecting ABC. There's a lot of things that make that potentially happen, like a triple bottom, like triple divergence, like a yearly low on a daily chart close by, like a falling wedge pattern. Here, this blue line is the yearly low, like a falling wedge pattern indicated by the green and the orange line, and the break of the resistance line that happened yesterday. So from that point of view, let's take a look at current price. You can see strong bullish candle, a bit of a retracement. And well, price, that could be a bouncing signal, in my opinion. Obviously, a strong hourly candle like that could indicate it's towering above all of these smaller candles, right? That, of course, is maybe not so strange because it's the start of the European session, whereas prior to that was the Tokyo session, Asian session. But still, I think it's a decent signal that there could be a bounce right now. If you want to be a bit more cautious than waiting for this 4-hour candle, 4-hour candles, remember, are always signaling and providing a lot of information. So I would rather, in many cases, I rather wait for a 4-hour candle because it's a bit more information, a bit more robust. In this case, it could be as good as well to wait for this 4-hour candle. Does it close bullish somewhere like here? Then wait for a small retracement, for instance, or just an entry order right there, and it should continue. Now, if it doesn't continue, um, then it could make a correction like this. Therefore, the stop loss, the safest stop loss is below this bottom. A tighter stop loss below this bottom could work okay, but there is a risk of getting tagged out if this corrects lower. Others might wonder, is this not maybe perhaps the end of a correction and can we resume a downside? It's possible, certainly is, but I'm not interested in that considering all these factors I just told you. I think the reversal potential is too high here. I'm not that interested in taking shorts myself. I would really need to see price break below probably the bottom here of 105.50 before I consider that maybe interesting. Down to 105, so it's a very small space. It's not very tempting or appealing. Daily candle, we see engulfing, bullish engulfing twins, so that could be another reason why shorting is not a good reason until yesterday's low is broken. So anything that stays above yesterday's low is a potential retracement, I would say, when looking at this daily formation for more upside. Let me zoom in right there. All right, so back to the lower time frames. Moving average is already aligned to the upside. We got a small trendline break here on the 50-minute chart. And this could be a pullback for more upside. So it could be a potential long here with the stop loss below these bottoms. It's a risky one because it's riskier always because it's using a smaller time frame in general. And this could just be a retracement for that bigger correction. But that's part of trading. There's never, of course, 100% guarantee of anything. But considering the decent momentum, eventually I think there's a good zigzag potential to question is from what point we can put a fib. Obviously, from here to here, we can see price bounce off the 38.2 fib. So the next bouncing spot could be the 50 fib. So another solution could be a stop loss below the 61.8 or below the 50. I think below the 61.8 is a bit better. At 105, below 105.87, that gives it a bit more space. And if price does hit the 50 or 61.8 fib, the trade probably survives. That's maybe, I think, seems to be the best solution at the moment. Or maybe even better is waiting for this 4-hour candle to close. Both are possible. But we're, in my opinion, in a long territory. So that's my 2 cents. What do you think about the euro dollar? Do you see the same thing? Or it is a reversal trade, so it could be good maybe therefore to skip the entire pair and let's take a look at other pairs. Which pairs have you been trading this week? It's already Wednesday. Unfortunately, we didn't talk yesterday. But the tech problems hopefully are solved now. Which pairs have you been trading? Have you been trading the pound dollar perhaps? Let's take a look at that. Here too we can see a momentum. So from my point of view, chance of a zigzag. Let me put on the fib here. All right. It's a bit funky wave 3, but this is one way of fibbing it. You can see price hit 23.6 fib. So if it breaks above the 23.6 fib, it could go up to the 38.2 fib. That's based to the upside as part of a wave 4. And then this would be a strong resistance spot, which could be a turnaround spot again for downside. All right, so those are 2 trade ideas, up and down, up to the 38.2% Fibonacci retracement level, and then down from that same Fibonacci level. Sometimes waves 4 stop at 23.6 fibs. In that case, there is a breakout potential if price breaks below this trend line. All right. The space there is a bit limited. I would rather see price go up to the 38.2 fib. Why is the space a bit limited? Well, first of all, we have this trend line. And maybe even this trend line was, no, that's not really a confirmed trend line yet. But anyhow, the first blue line here, clearly support line. And price is pretty close to that support line. Got a 50, 150 psychological round level as well. So if price breaks that small triangle on the lower time frames, then we're bumping into a pretty hefty daily support level. Therefore, not that appealing for me to trade it to the downside. You can see support pretty close by. Pretty choppy downtrend. It is a downtrend, it's pretty choppy too. Divergence between these bottoms as well. All right, and when there's divergence between the bottoms or tops, then the rule is that price should go back to the long-term moving average. Right there. The price has not gotten there. So I'm still anticipating a bigger correction. Therefore, I think the 38.2 fib is the ideal spot. Therefore, on the pound dollar, I would expect price to move up rather than move down at the moment. So I'm a bit hesitant with, I'm not that interested in shorting it here because I still expect a bigger upside, whether it's now or later on, up to that 38.2 fib. Now, would I trade it to the upside? Yes, but only if it really breaks. I'm not that interested in trading it from here. All right. Rather trade it actually upon the break, hook back, and then the bounce here up to the 38.2 fib. In this zone where I have the blue arrow, it's well, bit of a danger zone. There could be some downside, but as I said, we're bumping into support, and I mean, I'm not that interested in going long because of the fact that there's a bearish breakout. So if it does break to the downside, I would probably not trade it and wait. There'll probably be another trend line like this, and I would rather wait for that trend line to break before trading it up to the 38.2 fib. For me to trade it to the downside, I would probably need to see price below this 149.90. Then I get interested. That would be the bearish zone that makes sense to me. All right, so to recap, neutral zone, bearish zone, bullish zone, but after the pullback. And another option could be here, the break of the future trend line. And then, of course, the shorting potential here. That's basically the recap, what I'm looking for the pound dollar. Is the visual working fine? Is the sound working okay? Everything as it should be? I just want to double check one more time. I know that Arvidas already confirmed the sound, but that was about 20 minutes ago. And I just would like to know that everything's fine with a double reconfirmation because great, perfect. Happy that it's solved. So, dollar yen, not that interesting to me. Really, it's right of resistance, trend lines. It's still above support. So I would like to see either one break. Really, I would be interested in trading it to the downside below support. I would not be interested in trading it right away when it breaks the resistance. I would need to see it break, preferably above this top, really, and then I would consider longs. Would look into lower time frames and look potentially for trades. But this is too close to resistance for me to be interested in upside trades. But if it does break below support, that could change things. I'm not placing a pending order, and I'll just keep an eye on market and perhaps take a market order. But I'm not going to put a pending order. Odd USD is talked about it in a video on Monday. Break of this trend line, but be careful of this resistance zone. But if it breaks above it, we could be in a breakout to the upside. So price has made that upside break. Looks good for continuation. Trying to see what trade could make sense. This was the breakout I was talking about. A candle like this, a 4-hour candle breaking through the resistance line like that, with the close above it, a close near the high. That's a good signal. And anyone in that trade, I would say can put it at break even. For those that are not in the trade, I'm thinking what could be the best for potentially scaling in or adding the first position. And yeah, this has really moved up very aggressively. We'll take a look at the 30-minute chart. I think that considering, I think these support levels should be still pretty solid. So if price makes something like this, I think that this level here at 77.25, 77.30 could be a good bouncing spot. If it doesn't get there, because it could just turn like this and keep pushing, then that's a bit difficult because, sorry. because the 50-minute world is not really structured in a way that looks like a good breakout. There's no flag. It's just like it's a bit difficult. So I'd rather wait for the retracement here. The other option could be, for instance, if it starts to break above this level and then makes a small hook back here, somewhere in here might be still interesting, or the deeper pullback. All right, Kiwi, that's an interesting one. Why? Well, Caitlin was talking about the upside potential at the 38.2 fib, but price retraced lower and went down to the 61.8. But it still has good upside potential. Why? Well, first of all, there was strong momentum here. Second of all, price broke above this resistance trend line and this resistance trend line, and that happened yesterday. Let's zoom into that. And you can see a sturdy trend line, a sturdy resistance trend line. And yesterday, the a bullish candle, first of all, with a close near the high, towering above that resistance trend line, and totally above it. So that trend line is broken, and it's been broken by a very good momentum candle. So this was already a first break. This could be the first break, basically. This could be a hook back, and this could be the continuation or pullback, right? Typical break, pullback, continuation. The fib, of course, was already one of the signals where price could turn. And now the break of the trend line with such a candle shows the potential for continuation, in my opinion. Now, other things include divergence on the daily chart between these bottoms, but that already actually has been taken out by reaching the long-term moving average. So that's less important, but still, I think there's divergence on the 4-hour chart, perhaps. Yep. No, that's also taken out. Okay, so divergence is not necessarily a factor to consider, but still, the trend line breaks obviously are the impulse to the upside. Yes, the strong daily candle yesterday. Yes. Also, from a fundamental point of view, we see that the Kiwi has an interest rate still of 2.75. If you compare that to any other country or any other interest rate like the yen, Swissy, euro, dollar, US dollar, that is tremendously high. So perhaps investors are considering the advantage of a carry trade here on the Kiwi, and perhaps that's one of the reasons that this had some impulse, and we're seeing now a rebound again. So yeah, against the dollar, I would expect the upside to continue, and therefore, any pullback here should be interesting for upside. And the same holds true really for Euro, New Zealand, and Pound New Zealand. New Zealand strength, which means Euro, New Zealand, Pound New Zealand downside. Even more so perhaps than the dollar, but we'll take a look at those. So back to a bit of a lower time frame here. Alrighty. Same like the odd USD, isn't it? Big upside. And then it's not easy to kind of find a position in that pullback, because how far will it pull back? Will it pull back deep? Will it pull back? Will it pull back at all? You know? So when it's made such a big move already, the range, the variance it could do, small pullback, medium pullback, big pullback, bigger retracement. There's a lot of options. So it's a bit more difficult. But if I look at the strength of this upside on the hourly, I wouldn't expect a deep pullback as yet. Same like the Aussie though. What could happen is this is looking like a bit of a bear flag, is that we get a correction like this. So if I put a fib from here to here, I would expect price to stop at the target here, minus 272 target, or minus 61.8 target. Those could be bouncing spots for the QE to the upside. All right, talking about those Euro New Zealands and Pound New Zealands. Of course, Euro New Zealand we were talking about already for a long time. The bear flag correction, excuse me, right here, and that bear flag broke, pulled back to the 50 fib, and continued, and still is continuing. So anyone who was in the webinar somewhere in November heard about this bear flag, and perhaps you're in that trade. If you're in that trade, I would just trail stop the daily candle highs here and let this ride. That would mean at this moment a stop loss just above this candle right here. Anyone not in that trade or looking to add to their trade, I would probably want to see a bit of a pullback at the moment, just like maybe like here. I think a fib from here to here is fine, and I mean, if it does get up to the 38.2 fib, that would be perfect, I think. Or maybe perfect is exaggerated, but that would be nice. Alrighty, folks. Do you have any pair you would like to view? We got a couple of minutes left, and I want to give you the opportunity to maybe still pick a pair or two. Pound yen is a bit wacky. Up, down, down, up. But there seems to be a bit of a bullish rebound now at the moment. And bullish price action, so perhaps that could continue. Let's see. I don't know. I'm not that fond of this pair at the moment. But if you're really a big pound yen fan, then it seems to be a line for upside. So perhaps let it make the impulse, wait for a hook back here, and continue. I would say probably. I'm not a big fan though. Alrighty. Well, dollar CAD also a bit choppy to be honest. Not particularly. Yeah, it is an uptrend, but it's just very choppy at this point. And not really very excited about this trend. I really don't see any trade that I think is interesting at this point. Euro yen is back in this channel, so there could be a bit of a rally here too on the euro yen side. Hi Beverly. Yeah, sorry about that. The webinar had technical problems again at the beginning, and finally found a solution to the software issue. So we started about 30 minutes ago. Luckily, there were still some people, hanging in there that for during the webinar or during the fact when it was not there. Yeah, you were very unlucky indeed. I saw your name in the list, so I was hoping you would be there, but I can imagine you must have been very unlucky if you probably just a minute or two before I was back, unfortunately. Well, basically, I think I was talking about the New Zealand and the fact that I like the potential for downside continuation. So I put a fib from this to this bottom, for this to this top to bottom, sorry. And if anyone is in a short still from way back, like on the daily chart, we had the this bull flag right break. Anyone taking a short in here, I would move the stop loss to above yesterday's high, which in an hourly chart is just above the 50 fib. And if anyone is in that trade or not and looking to add the 38.2 fib, I think could be interesting. And all of that is a continuation, as you can see, excuse me, of course, the downtrend and the bull flag we talked about, and then the break, pullback, and continuation. So far, I would keep expecting the continuation to occur because we don't see any divergence. So I think the Euro New Zealand can continue with, pushing with this momentum, pushing with this breakout of the daily bear flag, really. So I like that. I like the Aussie is showing a good breakout to the upside. So either if it pulls back and it bounces around 72.30, or if it breaks above this top, pulls back, and then continues. Same for the Kiwi, where either a bit deeper correction for more upside would be nice. Euro dollar, I was saying that I'm expecting a zigzag. Whether the zigzag will happen here, I'm not 100% sure. Last hour was bearish, so it could be at the 50 fib or 61.8. Now we had a 38.2% bounce, which is a bit shallow. Pound, expecting a zigzag too, but really not sure if this trend line will be enough. So I'm avoiding shorts here. Would only short below this bottom or from the 38.2 fib. Longs, upon the break, pullback up to the 38.2 fib. Or if there's a trend line here and price does this and then breaks that trend line. Pound New Zealand, like the New Zealand's, I think is also looking bearish, but it is right next to the bottom, so that could be the only thing that is a bit worrisome. And pound yen, euro yen look a bit choppy. Euro yen does look like it can break to the upside too, but not any trade setup that seems very interesting at the moment to me, at least. And euro odd, I'm losing a bit of touch for the moment because this is continuing so much that I'm kind of losing a bit of track with it. Obviously, this was a nice pullback, but price has been dropping already pretty sturdily after that. And well, the momentum certainly, excuse me, my voice is still not, my throat is still not 100%. Price is still certainly, keeps pushing and pushing and pushing. So it's a pattern that has lasted for a while. So I guess if it hits the long-term moving average again, let's keep an eye on it. Maybe it will be again a turning spot. But right here, I'm not really interested in trading it. Same for the pound odd. All right. So, folks, thank you so much for that. Apologies for the problems. I have no idea why, but it seems to be working now after rebooting the software. So probably something with that. In any case, things work now. So hopefully tomorrow everything will be okay. And regarding tomorrow, let me show you our lineup very quickly. Bear with me 1 minute as we take a look at the education we got and general webinars. We have tonight, Nana taking a look at price action trading school, leading and lagging indicators. Tomorrow, Nana and I both are taking a look at selecting optimal time frame for your trading. That's Thursday. And by the way, the times are a bit different. It's this month only. It's at 6:45 Central European Time, 5:45 GMT and London time. All right, 45 minutes later, only this month, and only for Wednesday and Thursday webinars. All right, and then next week we're back with the usual schedule. So take a look. You can find it in Education and Webinars. And wish you good trading. Thanks for being here, and hope to see you in a webinar soon. Cheers.